What's up, everybody? Back for another live Monday night beer review, and I just got done reviewing the 300th beer on my channel, and that was Deschutes Black Butte 30th, and it was pretty damn good. And I'm also celebrating the 1-year anniversary of my channel today, and I thought we would keep the celebration going because, as the great Dave Chappelle, as Rick James once said, it's a celebration, bitches. So the beer that I'm reviewing today comes from the Firestone Walker Brewing Company, and they're out of Paso Robles, California. And this is their Firestone 22. This is their 22nd Anniversary Ale. Now, this beer is always delicious. Every single year I have it, and it always changes. We'll talk about that in a second, but this beer comes in at 12.7% alcohol by volume, 32 IBUs, and at the time of review, this is just under 6 months old because, well, this was probably bottled sometime in October. They released this in early November, so usually I'll give them a month to bottle it or whatnot. So yeah, we're talking about a 6-month-old beer, should be fine. The base of this beer is an American Strong Ale, and that's because it is a blended barrel-aged beer. We're going to get into that in 1 second. Let's check the comments real quick. We have Jesse over at Bumpy Road Brewery joining me once again and says, "What be going down, people of the world? Settle down, Redbeard Jesse Redbeard." And then Chris says, "What's the beer next year?" No idea. No idea what the beer is next year. It's going to be nothing because my channel is going to be burned to the ground because of comments like that, Chris. Eric Gilbert says, "Cheers, fools." And yeah, so, okay. Firestone Walker Anniversary Beer. The cool thing about this is they take a bunch of their barrel-aged beers and they blend them together and they get their anniversary ale. There's a huge, and I'll say, so you see it comes in a fancy box with stuff on the back and it looks really cool and nice. And yeah, it's beautiful, right? Then it comes with a huge insert that just tells you all about the beer, which is fantastic. And this beer was $9.99 for a 12-ounce bottle of a 12.7% blended barrel-aged beer. So let me read this real quick because I feel like you guys, if you don't know about Firestone Walker's anniversary beers or their barrel-aged program, which is one of the best in the world probably at this point, yeah, they do really cool stuff with this beer specifically. So they say about the blending. Every August, right before the wine harvest gets rolling, our local winemaker friends, yes, winemaker friends, come to the brewery to help blend our annual anniversary ale. Winemakers are practicing experts in the art of blending, and we realized early on that they could provide invaluable input for creating a seamless beer out of numerous barrel-aged component ales. The winemakers come for both the challenge and the camaraderie. They split up into small teams and create their own preferred blends from the provided components. Each of the resulting trials is then blind tasted by the entire group, and votes are cast for the winning blend. The victorious team walks away with bragging rights and with a set of coveted cardboard crowns. So the cool thing about this is they're bringing in winemakers to do the blend because winemakers are great at blending beers. And they've done this every year since, I want to say, 2006. So they've been doing this for, I believe this is the 13th release. That's just cool. And the fact that they're bringing winemakers and they do the blend and they vote on a winning blend and whatnot is pretty cool. So the final blend of this beer, they actually tell you the blend, the percentage of what beers are in. I mean, they just have all the information here, which is great. So the final blend, what is blended in this beer? They use 44% of the beer is their Sticky Monkey, which is a 12.9% Central Coast quad that is brewed with Belgian candy sugar and Mexican brown sugar that is aged in bourbon barrels. So that's 44% of this beer, almost half. 22% of this beer is their Parabola, which is a Russian Imperial Stout that is hopped with Columbus and East Kent Golding and aged in bourbon barrels, 13.7%. So that's almost a quarter of this beer. Another 22% of this beer is their Bravo at 13.6%. It's an Imperial Brown Ale hopped with Bravo and Columbus hops and then aged in bourbon barrels. So right there, we're already at 88% of the beer is those three beers, 88%, 44% Sticky Monkey, 22% each of Bravo, Parabola, and Bravo. The last 12% is made up of 7% of Rum Barrel Eldorado, which is a blonde barley wine hopped with Styrian Goldings and aged in rum barrels, 14.5%. And then the last 5% is that same beer, Eldorado, but it's the gin barrel-aged version. So it's 11.4% blonde barley wine hopped with Styrian Golding and then aged in gin barrels. So you have 44% of a bourbon barrel-aged quad. You have 22% of a bourbon barrel-aged Russian Imperial Stout, 22% of a bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Brown Ale, 7% of a rum barrel-aged blonde barley wine, and 5% of a 11.4% gin barrel blonde barley wine. All over the fucking place. This one is all over the place, but that's what makes these beers awesome. Each year they do it. It's different blends, so it's never the same beer. It's never even remotely close. So comments we have Eric Gilbert said, cheers, fools. I think I might have already read that one. Drunken One says, cheers once again, gents. Chris says, from off the tent says, ooh, fancy. Yeah, it's super fancy. Jesse from Bumpy Road Brewery says, I drank Eclipse's special beer tonight. Feeling a little fuzzy at this point. Did you get into the Kush one? Is that one you're talking about? The Kush Orange or whatever, Jesse? Because, yeah, I imagine you're feeling great. Chris says, Firestone Walker equals physics. If I had a physics machine, I don't know if I'd waste it on this beer. Then again, wasting that, using the word waste is in the eye of the beholder, Chris, because I know everything makes it better. Eric Gilbert says, Covey, and then physics it. There's no Covies. The other beer's in the fridge because I gotta maintain this great figure that's me being fat. Rainier Parade says, I've only had the 15, and I was so blown away, and it was fresh. Every sip was different. Stumpy Joe Jr., San Diego Beer Vlog, says, and the word on the street was thinking that that was their worst batch. A couple years later, Stumpy said it was aging nicely. You know what? That's the great thing, Rainier Parade. We all have different tastes and whatnot. I've heard that same thing. If Ewer comes in here and talks about the it was 17 he did not like, and the rest of us who reviewed it, we reviewed that one. We reviewed Firestone Walker 17 on the Albino Rhino Beer Reviews channel. It was Ewer, myself, Chad, and our buddy Aaron. And Ewart was the only one that didn't think it was amazing. But every anniversary blend I've had from Firestone Walker has been amazing. So I'd imagine it's going to be much of the same. I guess we'll see. I don't know. What are we going to just put? I'll have to put it over here. All right, let's give a proper pour. Label out. Firestone Walker T-Coupe. Proper glassware. Hashtag, no hashtag. Does the hashtag even matter anymore? Probably not. Probably not, boys and girls. Can I get this to lay up on? Yeah. All right, anyway. So much like that Black Butte, this pours out a really straight-on pitch black color on the camera. It's probably going to come off as pitch black. In person, comes off as pitch black. When I was pouring it, it was a dark brown. Has about a half finger of a tan head. Doesn't look as creamy as that Black Butte, but I'll tell you what, there are crazy amounts of alcohol leg, plural, on that glass. It's insane. Let's get a nose. Now, I took this out of my fridge about 35, 40 minutes ago. Why did I spill some down the side here? I'm just cheap. Can't be wasted, I guess. So this is probably in the 55, 60 range, I'd say at this point. It's been out of the fridge for almost 40, 45 minutes. My fridge, I think I keep it around 40, so it definitely has warmed up a decent amount. Maybe 55-ish. Yeah, I'm not getting a ton. Paul's going to show up and be like, why did you drink it boiling? Because I'm not you, Paul. Jesse says, if you add the blend percentage and divide it up by the ABV, it doesn't add up. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Jesse. I guess you would have to do it a little bit, probably a little bit more math involved at that point. It might be a little bit too cold, Eric. It definitely, again, it's been out of the fridge for about 40 minutes, and I'm not getting much dose, so this might be a longer review as I let it sit and warm up in the glass, you know what I'm saying, and get hammered. Anyway, it really just has like a generic booziness to it, like a generic barrel characteristic. It has a lot of confectionery sugar, but not in like the straight candied sugar. Like it doesn't smell like candy. It smells like refined confectionery sugar. Like they said they use Mexican brown sugar and Belgian candy sugar and the Sticky Monkey. Definitely more of like a brown sugar caramel toffee, sweeter, even like a blackstrap molasses type of sugar. No. There's a little bit of vanilla and oak, a little bit of spirit presence. I would love to be able to pick up on like the gin. They're using gin barrel held around. And what's the other one? Rum. Not really getting the gin or the rum at all. But again, that's 12% of the final blend. Nick Maxwell Star says, confectionery sugar, sons. He actually said son, not plural. You gotta say sons, Nick. Everyone has to say sons, plural. Rainier Parade says, we get Firestone Walker in Maine, but none of the special releases. You actually get Firestone Walker? See, I didn't think they made it all the way up there. So you never see Sukaba or Parabola or the Anniversary or anything like that? That's crazy. I would assume if they distribute somewhere, you should see the special releases at some point. Yeah, it's starting to open up a little bit. Now I'm starting to get all kinds of crazy shit. I'm actually getting a little bit. Now with the Central Coast Quad, I don't know if they're using a Belgian yeast strain, but I'm starting to get a spiciness. Could be from the rum, could be from the gin, could be from the base Sticky Monkey. I don't know. I'm starting to get like this spiciness that I would associate more with like a Belgian quad as opposed to like a rum barrel. Oh, man. So, man, the best way to actually describe this is confectionery sugar. This is a lot of sticky sweetness, and in the best way possible, like an adult dessert, not candied sugar for kids. I'm talking like your more refined, like creme brulee type of notes, the vanilla, the really deep caramel and toffee and molasses and things of that nature. Wow, yeah, it's starting to open up beautifully. I'd imagine as I continue to go through the review and drink, this is going to become even better with each sip as it warms up a little bit and whatnot. Anyway, time to get into it. So cheers, everybody. Fucking dynamite. That's dynamite. Holy shit, is that dynamite? Oh, my God. Yo, time out. Fucking time out. Yo, time out. Time out. I need to think and just gather my thoughts, compose myself, because that first sip was fucking, yeah, sons. This is, look, I'm gonna get a little emotional, but this is why I love Firestone Walker. This beer right here is why Firestone Walker, for me, I've had so many great barrel-aged beers. You can go with Bourbon County. You can bring in, Founders and their barrel-aged program, and there's so many more across the country, across the world. They just know what the fuck they're doing, whether it's because they're bringing in winemakers to do this blend, whether it's because their base beers are already fantastic. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Firestone Walker Sukaba, their barrel-aged English barley wine, is my favorite beer of all time. Parabola is one of my favorite Russian Imperial Stouts that's barrel-aged. They just know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to barrel-aged beers. Plain and simple. No question about it. They just know what they're doing. So when you get winemakers together with the actual brewers, with the owners of this brewery, and you're already starting with amazing beers, and then you're going through different blends and you're blind taste testing them, this is what you fucking get. You get absolutely top-notch quality beer. And this beer, when you're talking about a blended barrel-aged beer, this is what I want every fucking single time. No questions asked. Hands down. Everything I said in the notes. This screams. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, Chris. I want to say if Greg was here, but Greg doesn't watch my content because I'm not in uniform, but also because he doesn't watch Beer Tubers. He actually watches, what does he watch? He watches like reviews of running shoes, and he says beer tubing is boring. What the fuck is wrong with that guy? But anyway, we did, I believe, Sticky Monkey. I brought Sticky Monkey up there a couple years ago. I believe it was the year in which Chad almost knocked down all of our beer and said, fuck it. But I'm pretty sure I brought up Sticky Monkey, and that beer was delicious. I'm getting a lot of that beer in here because half of it, 44% of it, almost half, is in this beer. But think about your favorite Belgian quad and all the characters it brings to it, from the dark fruits to the spicy yeast component to the caramel, the toffees, everything that goes on with a beer of that quality. But then add in nuances of like a little bit of chocolate, add in nuances of like a rum barrel and a bigger spicy component, but just a well-refined, super cohesive barrel-aged blend, and you have this beer. Okay, so Nick said 2017 we had it at Chad's, and it was the 2014 Sticky Monkey. Yeah, this is fucking every single one of those beers, but like the best parts of them. I will say I'm not really getting the Bravo, but maybe the Bravo is combining with that Central Coast Quad. Fucking doesn't, the style doesn't exist. They just call it, it's a quad, okay? But I think the Sticky Monkey and the Bravo are adding that big, deep confectionery basically caramel and toffee and molasses vibe. I'm not getting a ton of the parabolan here. Maybe more to the vanilla oaky side, like the actual barrel. But again, all of those beers were aged in bourbon barrels, so it could be any one of them. Not getting a ton of chocolate, not getting a ton of roastiness, you know, something you would get in a Russian Imperial Stout. And really not getting this. This one is the Sticky Monkey and the Bravo mostly. Each sip is just fucking dynamite, and each sip is unique within itself. Like the first time the first sip, which made me just kind of, you know, it just blew my mind. That was all confectionery sugar. As I go back for each sip, now I'm getting nuances of the different barrels. I'm getting a little bit of that gin Eldorado, like more of a like spicy rum barrel, but at the same time, like lighter, almost biscuity, bready notes too. It's fucking crazy. It just, listen, I don't even know what's happening right now. I'm doing an extremely poor job of explaining this because it's kind of just fucking with my head. Not that you expect anything less than just absolute trash from my channel when I'm reviewing beer, but like this is kind of just throwing me for a loop in the best way possible. Yeah, it's fucking, this is, so like I said, this is what I want from any kind of barrel-aged beer. This is the quality. If you get Firestone Walker in your area and you see this on the shelf, I paid $9.99 for this bottle. I would pay, and I'm not even joking around, for a beer of this quality, 12-ounce bottle, it is 12.7% and everything, I'd pay upwards of $15 to $18 for this fucking bottle. I would pay, yeah, and I'm usually a guy that goes like $1 an ounce max. Not with this beer. This beer is a beer that I'm going to sit here and drink over the next hour. I'm going to love every single ounce of this beer, every single milliliter. Shout out to everyone that's not from the States. I will drink the shit out of this. I'll enjoy every single second of it. And there's nothing bad I can say about this beer. There's not one detracting note with this beer. There's no issue with this beer. There's nothing. The body on this one is basically medium full, 12.7%. I don't fucking care. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't mean something I need to chew. This is not something that needs to be like straight on full body. I don't care about it. The mouthfeel, there's a little bit more carbonation than I had expected. It's smooth, it's soft, but it's not necessarily creamy. I don't care. Why? Because the taste of this beer is amazing. I'm just ranting now. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Eric. I'm ranting. Okay. I'm just losing my shit. Okay, so now we have someone else who's actually drinking the beer here and can bring it up a level. So let me read these comments here because I just kind of went on a fucking absolutely crazy rant of just me loving this this beer. So Chris from Off the Tent says he filmed his hashtag Boo Quickie during your intermission. And then he said that this beer is going to get a 5 out of 5 for sure. Yeah, it's totally going to, that's 5 out of 5. I don't even need to say anything. It's fucking 5 out of 5. Nick says no 30-minute break in between to look it up on Rate Beer like Redbeard Chris. No, fuck Rate Beer, fuck Beer Advocate. I love On Tap, but fuck On Tap because it doesn't matter what other people say about it because you came and watch my review. Although I do appreciate the On Tap ratings because then I see what my friends are drinking. But Rate Beer and Beer Advocate, nah, brah. Jesse says it would be whacked if you had a full beard in this review. Why would it be? Well, that would, you know what would have been great, Jesse? If I actually had my beard, I had my beard for the first review, then shaved it, then came back and did another review. That would have been great. Eric Gilbert says, just turned into other half review. Sons? Why? Because I'm gloating about it? Eric Gilbert, this is a beer that you would fucking go absolutely apeshit. I know you're not huge in pastry stouts and fruited this and fruited that. You would appreciate every single, being a guy that's a spirit guy and loves your whiskey and your bourbon and your scotch and everything, you would be the first guy that I would think that would appreciate this more than anyone. Nick says, Greg, our buddy Bylog, only watches beer reviews he's in. Yeah, and they're usually absolutely horrendous, so I get that. Jesse says, I saw Collective Arts beer in a box. It's still in a box at the store. I saw it. You should buy it because Collective Arts makes awesome beer. That might be their barrel-aged Imperial Porter, which is amazing, Jesse. I don't know what the price is, but check it out. Chris says, Firestone is great, period. Live chat after. If someone's doing it on their channel, sure. I'll join. Nick or anyone else. Rainier Prey says, making me thirsty right now. I'm making myself thirsty, and I'm fucking hammering this out. It's unbelievable. Nick says, it reminds me of that other whale I've had that you guys probably haven't had, Joe, 2019. Bro, this is not a whale. Let me tell you something about Firestone Walker. I walked into my local bottle shop that I go to, two bottle shops I go to, Brewed and Bottle in Lewiston, Premier Gourmet in Amherst. And you know what? I walked into Premier Gourmet, which is one of the biggest in the area, and they had Tsukaba on the fucking shelf just hanging out. I thought it would be in the front where, you know, you buy all the new releases. No, I was like, where's Tsukaba at? Do you guys have it? You sell out of it? He's like, oh, come with me. And he just goes to the shelf and shows me. I'm like, are you serious? Tsukaba on the shelf? Yeah. These are almost shelfies. This was at premiere for a couple of weeks before they sold out. It's not even a whale anymore. And that's the sad reality, is this beer should be a whale because it's fucking crazy good. Jesse says, in Hangouts, I'll be really calm. If I ever do a Hangout, Jesse, you're going to be invited. But I mean, I have not planned on doing any Hangouts. I can't speak for anyone else here, but I will pass it forward to guys like Nick and Chris and Redbeard and those guys. Jesse, you are a good dude, and yeah, Jesse would fit our crew quite well. He has the same sense of humor. Chris says surprises are nice, right? Yeah, they are. Eric Gilbert says the rant is on. Sans? Yes, it is. And then Earth shows up. Like I said, he said, I made it, just poured mine. I'm going to see what he thinks. Rainer Prey says, oh yeah, I got on problem with $10 for the anniversary. Oh, he got his for $10, and I think the anniversary back then was 22-ounce bottles. So, yeah. Nick says the rant is due, sons. And then Chris says he called the 5 out of 5. Listen, anybody here, you're calling that 5 out of 5. Earth says darts, gars, and char, sons. Yeah, he's adding in little nuances to Eric Gilbert's little things. Eric Lines fan says, whoa, 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 what the fuck, Joe? What up, Eric? I'm doing all. Eric, listen, you're my boy, Eric. I love you, okay? But you know every single Monday night, baby, I do live beer review, baby. Dustin Rose coming out for this one because I'm a little bit hammered, baby, a little bit tipsy. But Dustin Rose says, every single Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're doing Starcade. And Starcade is live beer review, sometimes 2 in 1, sometimes 2 separate ones. But whatever we do, baby, it's Dustin Joe all the time. All right, anyway. We have Krista says he's on the Multi-Flora from Decadent, is one of the best beers he's had in years. So Decadent beers, you'll see more reviews from me over the next couple of weeks, but I've been somewhat unimpressed of their offerings over the past little while, but apparently Multi-Flora is fantastic. And then Nick says, live chat off the 10th. And then Chris says, LOL. I was going to say live chat on Maxwell Star. So one of their channels. And then Nick says, I get Zucaba. It's Sukaba, but either way. On the shelf at my grocery store, Joe 2019. Nick, I would say something like this. Like you're telling me, I almost just spilled it. That would have been a big tragedy. But Nick, I would say this for you. This would be your quote. I live super close to the Maine border, but I never travel down there because I'm a piece of shit. Nick 2019. I love you, Nick, but you need to make a little trip down to Maine. I mean, Rain Hour Parade tells you about the beers they get in Maine. They get Firestone Walker made. Go to the local gas station and get all the great American beers, you son of a bitch. Earth says live chat multi-stream. Yeah, that is someone else live streaming right now. I have no idea if they are. Baby, all I gotta say, baby, is Monday night for Average Joe, baby, because no one else streams basically. We have Eric Lines fan says this Saturday night strap match, baby. Firestone Walker Sukaba, the Firestone Walker Anniversary Ale 22, baby. Chris says Eric got all the views on the March Madness basketball video. Yeah, the thing about Eric is a lot of those, I don't want to say they go viral, but people are, watching stuff that is, I don't know, the news, what's happening currently. So when Eric gets a video up like an hour after a game ends and he does that, yeah, of course. I mean, that's what they do. And then Eric says, no shit. I didn't think that video would get so many. And then Nick says, yeah, 45 minutes from Callan, Maine. After that's 2-hour drive to Bangor or Hooten, where the nearest decent bottle shop is. Well, get on your fucking horse there, Nick. Nick, listen. I go to Rochester, which is an hour and a half away, every 4 or 6 weeks. You could do it once every like 4 or 5 months. Come on, buddy. You can get there. I know you don't care to, but you could. So don't be talking shit about me getting these whales when I know you could get some great beer as well, if you care to. Sons! Anyway, I'm just giving you shit, Nick. And then Chris says, Average Joe owns Monday Live, son, baby, yeah. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm starting to feel it. Drinking half a bottle of the Black Butte 30, and then this, an average of like 13+%. Starting to feel good. I'm starting to feel good. There's not much more to say about this one. It has all the rich confectionery sugar, barrel-aged components. Oh man, is there something? Can I give this a higher than a 5 out of 5? Is this a possibility? I mean, there's no rules in rating, but then again, there's rules in math, and I'm pretty sure that would be breaking it. It's like those people that say 110%. There's no such thing as fucking 110%. Is there such thing as a 6 out of 5? No, there isn't. But if I could give it, this would get a 6 out of 5. Yeah, this is if you looked up 5 out of 5 when it comes to beer in the untapped definition, this beer would be next to it because this is fucking delicious. Now I'm waiting for Earth to be like, this is totally 4.25 out of 5, which is be actually welcomed at this point because that's the great thing about beer and craft beer. At the end of the day, everybody has different palates. Everybody has different dislikes and likes. So, you know, maybe this is not hitting Earth as well as it's hitting me, but this is a fucking 5 out of 5 beer for me every single day of the week. I think this would age into something that is somewhat better. I don't know how you can get better than 5 out of 5, but I will say that I could see this one just perhaps getting to the point where it's more complex because there isn't a shit ton of complexity. There isn't 20 different characters in this one, but what's here is so refined and robust that I don't fucking care. Rainier Parade says Portland, Maine is by far the best selection of beer in Maine. Earth says Dusty Road's Pine Class on Amazon just for your information, sons. Yo, give me a Dusty Roads like Tulip or like a Snifter or a Tiku, and I'll fucking be on it all day, every day. Nick says at 126 a liter for gas right now might be a bit before the next road trip. Nick, don't worry about it because when you come down for the Albino Rhino Beer Fest, we're going to be drinking all the great beers. In fact, Earth sent me amazing beer based on what he's saying and what Untappd says that I plan to share with you guys from Bottle Logic, which is one of the best breweries that I know of in California. So shout out to Earth for him being so generous. What else we got? We got Bumpy Road says, if you cuvee it with the 9% of Black Butte, it can go to 11. No cuvies with the Black Butte. You know why? You know why I'm not cuvee this beer with Black Butte? As much as I like Black Butte, this shit's all over Black Butte. All over it. Eric Gilbert says, best thing since Doggy Style. Sons! I don't know why I just read that comment, but I did. Chris says, get to Maine, Nick. Eric Linesfed says, let's not go overboard, Gilbert. Eric, let's just settle down a little bit, buddy. Get under control. Maxwell Star says 5-hour drive from here to Portland each way. Is that not worth getting some whales? I mean, here's the thing about Portland, Maine, though, Nick. If you drove there and made like a weekend out of it or something, you could hit up Bissell Brothers. You hit up Allagash. You could hit up fucking Foundation. You could hit up so many different places that have great beer that it would make your trip. It would make it very worthwhile. But, whatever. I mean, I don't know anything. Earth says, this beer is delicious. Such a great barrel program. Probably not 5 caps, but close. Would you say 4.75, Earth? Maybe 4 or 5? Rod says, nice. Back, son. Workout is done. Son, Rod dropping those pounds. Now, you know what they say, Rod? They say, you get your workout on, you can get one of your Rod J. Deal beers in you, baby. Yeah, do it. Eric Gilbert says, that's my rating system, Eric. The two Erics, they're like on a level in which none of us can comprehend because of their first name. Backwoods Billy shows up and said, did everyone get their free craft beer today? I had a video on YouTube with details. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, Backwoods Billy. Well, there's a free craft. I had no idea. I'll have to go check out your video. I had no idea there's free craft beer. Jesus. I mean, sign me up. We have, Earth says 4.75. Chris says he loves the ASMR. Chris is all about the whispering. I don't know. Imagine someone doing a whispering video for beer. Chris, imagine someone doing a whispering video for beer. Eric just says the lines. Eric, the lines are better at what exactly? Sons? Are they better at winning the offseason but totally not winning? Are they better at picking the wrong coach? Are they better at losing more games than every other club in the last 30 years? Like, what are they better than? They're better at making Barry Sanders retire to keep Wayne Fonts? Like, I don't understand. Sorry, not Wayne Fonts, Bobby Ross. I think it was Bobby Ross. Rod says, cheers at Backwoods Billy Craft Beers. Didn't know about the free beer either. Yeah, dropping knowledge. Backwoods Billy dropping knowledge. We're going to have to go check it out. Thanks for showing up, Backwoods. Good stuff, buddy. Eric Lions fan says, losing done. Duh. Then Eric Gilbert says, losing sons, kind of like the Packers this past year. Am I right, Eric Gilbert? The fuck are they doing, buddy? Rod J says, but free is the best Rod J deal. Now, that's the thing. So let me ask you guys a question here. We got Rod J getting all the Rod J beer deals. Should Rod ever get free beer? I feel like Rod gets such good deals. He should never get free beers ever. And then Eric Linesfan says, let me have my moment, Joe. And then Eric Gilbert says, go pack, go, sons. No, not go pack, go. Earth says, can't fault a man who sticks with his team, or can you? No, I totally can. I mean, I'm a Sabres fan, and they're terrible. And they've been terrible for about 7 years. They've never won a Stanley Cup. I know Eric Gilbert, settle down. But they haven't won a cup as long as the Leafs haven't won a cup. Actually, the Leafs haven't won a cup in longer. Was the last Leafs Cup was what, 1967, Eric Gilbert? I forget. Rajay says, don't hate, appreciate, son. I appreciate you, Rod. I just don't appreciate the deals that you get all the time. Actually, I appreciate those. I wish I got those kind of deals. Ridiculous. Chris says, Rajay paid 99 cents for this beer. The sad reality is Rod would somehow be able to grab this beer for like $4.99 and be like, oh, I got a pretty good deal. Be like, yeah, you got the fucking best deal ever. And then Nick says, yeah, 1967, because Nick is a Habs fan and he always pokes fun at the Leafs fans. We have Backwoods Billy says Ravens rule, Orioles rule, Penguins rule. Backwoods, the Orioles might have a rough season, unfortunately. I love their logo, though. I hope the Orioles are good again at some point. Ravens should be good again. Now that the Steelers are losing everybody anyway. Maybe the Browns are on the upswing, though. One positive, Browns are on the upswing. Eric Gilbert says 1967, sons. Jesse says, Max, if you took another hour drive from Portland, you could hit a brewery in Kittery that brews Mont the Lesser. Can't think of a brewery name right now. Yeah, all the information. And then Redbeard shows up and says, what be going down? I don't have no idea, Redbeard. My subscriber count? I have no idea. Nick says, Leafs haven't won a cup since the league expanded from the original 6 teams. Yo, I didn't say it, Eric Gilbert. I didn't say it. And then Eric Gilbert says, but this is the year, sons. Eric, your offense for the Leafs, their offense is great. Frederick Anderson is a good goaltender. Your defense is absolute trash. I don't know why they didn't build the defense. I know they traded for Muzzin and whatnot, but still, it's still trash defense. Yeah, and then everybody else just saying hi to one another. Yeah, there's not, like I said, not much more to say about this. 5 out of 5. You get Firestone Walker in your area, you see this beer, and it's sub 10% or sub $10. It's not going to be sub 10%. It's 12.7. Sub $10. Grab it. If it's $15, grab it. I told you I'd pay $15, $18 for this. It's fucking delicious. Chris says, live on Redbeard's channel after, without Redbeard saying that he's cool with it. But if Redbeard is cool with it, then we will be live on Redbeard's channel. If not, I have no idea. Nick says, I'm surprised the Leafs have a website right now since they're having so much trouble putting 3 wins together. Actually, he said 3 W's because www. I get it. Nick, that was a pretty terrible joke, buddy. Come on. Rod says, on NHL 19, Toronto is a favorite by many. Just saying. Yeah, that's a video game. Unfortunately, in real life, they're a favorite by many too, but just not winning the cup. Jesse says, Mont the Lesser is the same as recipe as Mary the Great from Portsmouth. No, not Mary the Great. Kate the Great. Isn't that what you're talking about, Jesse? Kate the Great? Because that was a beer that was very popular for a long time. Eric Gilbert says, we have Riley back there, and that's about it, sons. Yeah, you got him and Muzzin, and listen, it's nice to have offense in the NHL nowadays, but you need to actually be able to defend a little bit, and your team just can't do it. And Jesse confirms, yeah, Kate the Great. I like it. Mary the Great works, though, too. Like, if I totally would have believed it. Like, Mary the Great sounds great. No pun intended. Chris says Peter is not writing Nick's jokes, and that is confirmed based on the fact that they are, in fact, dad/terrible jokes. Backwood says he's not up to much. I think Rajay asked him what's up. He said not much, just chilling. All right, Jesse says, Kate, yeah, I'm out of it. So Jesse, be on the lookout for Bumpy Road Breweries. Did you review it, Jesse? So Eclipse Brewing, he's a guy that is a home brewer. He actually sent a lot of people, including Rajay, including Jesse, and a couple others I watch. I think Brandon over at Craft Beer Port sent him a beer that was brewed with marijuana. It has THC in it. I believe it was called Kush Orange. Kind of the label looks like a Crush Orange label, the soda. And apparently Jesse reviewed that tonight. So he's feeling it. Backwood says, I believe that the Ravens made a mistake trading Joe Flacco to the Broncos. They could have. I don't know if Lamar Jackson, like his style. The thing about Lamar Jackson is he had a great season or whatever, but like he needs to stop running all the time. He's going to get injured. He gets hit a lot. Erica Lions fan says, I trolled the dude that looks like Rich Rod that does the liquor slams and said sons in one of my live streams and says, I'm not your son. Can't remember the guy's name. Eric, are you hammered tonight? You trolling? You trolling people, Eric? You got it. Come on, man. You can't troll people. Anyway, if anybody out there, Redbeard, if you're still watching, I doubt it, or Chris, or Nick, or Rod, or anybody wants to start a live stream, I would be more than happy to join and chat along with you fine individuals as I am 3 sheets to the wind. If not, that's cool too. But this was a lot of fun. I will say this, based on what you guys are saying and what everyone, I think at some point, what I think I'm going to do at some point in the future is do my 2 live beer reviews that I do Mondays, and then afterwards maybe do a live stream. But when I do that live stream, there's going to actually be like topics and stuff. We're not just going to be off the cuff wherever. We're going to try to keep it centric. I don't know when exactly it's going to happen. There are sirens outside, but I'm going to do it at some point. So be on the lookout on that. We'll probably do live beer reviews 8:30, 8 to 9, something like that. And then the after show after at some point. So I'll have to figure out the logistics, so to speak, and what we're going to do. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Earth says, glad I hauled ass home to be able to participate tonight. I appreciate you hauling ass home, Earth. Hopefully you drove very cautiously. I mean, Eric will appreciate the fact that you did not drink and drive. Not that you would ever do so, but I'm just saying. You drove and then drank, and that's the way to go. But yeah, I appreciate everybody stopping by. I knew that this one would not be as popular as the first because people usually don't come back for the second one. So I'm happy that so many people came back, especially since this beer beat the shit out of Black Butte, like totally destroyed it. What else we got? We got Raj says, yeah, I spoke to the wife. They came by attorney, so LOL. So that review will be done away from the channel. Okay, so Rod's not going to be reviewing that beer on the channel, which makes sense. Makes sense. I can see that. So no Kush Orange for him. Jesse says Tribute is the name of the brewery in Kittery, Maine, which does the Kate the Great basically clone. Redbeard says he could do a hangout tonight, so maybe go and check out Redbeard's channel in about 10-15 minutes. He might be having the after show. Eric Lyons fan says, Bria, that was my lame attempt at being funny. Eric, you're hilarious. Just not right now, buddy. And then he says, this damn phone, because he's certainly not spelling stuff correctly. And then Rod says, Rich Rod, LOL, need to find out who this is. Nick says he'd pop in for an hour or two for Red's channel. Earth says he lives on the edge of the U.S., that is, because he's in California. Damn, that's a dad joke. What am I doing, Earth? And then Eric says, shoe somebody. Shoe Nice? Oh, Shoe Nice? Is it Shoe Nice, Eric? That's a classic, dude. And then Backwards Billy says, cheers to everyone. Heavy Seas won the 2017 Brewing Company of the Year. I like both Heavy Seas and Firestone Walker. I like Heavy Seas too, Billy. I really do. I need to review some of their stuff on the channel. Although distribution, I won't say it's drying up here, but we don't get nearly as much of their stuff. And then Ringer Crusade says, Dogfish Head next week. Yeah, so before everyone leaves, next weekend, and by next weekend, I mean next Monday, because I'm clearly fucking hammered. But next Monday, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be reviewing American Beauty and Sequench from the Dogfish Head Brewery. If you guys have those beers or can get those beers, grab them. We'll drink them together. We'll talk about how mediocre or maybe delicious they are. Who knows? I have not had either beer, so I don't know. I know a lot of people like Sequench as far as like a spring, summer crusher goes. I don't know why I've never picked that one up. I never have grabbed American Beauty, but both of those beers, a lot of people like. So I'm going to give it a go. So if you can get both of those, show up next week. And maybe you know what? Depending on how I'm feeling, maybe I'll invite people and we'll do a live review with multiple people. If people can behave themselves to a certain degree. We'll see. I'll think about it. If not, at the very least, grab them, get in the chat, and we'll go from there. Redbeard says, I'll fire one up in like 15. Just got home from work and I'm unclean. He's not going to shower. He's just going to lick himself clean. That's what I'm assuming anyway. Nick says, lives on the edge of the flat earth. God damn it, Nick. Nick with the dad jokes, Nick with the dad jokes. Backwoods Billy says, I live near Dogfish Head Brewing. I know you do. Yeah, Billy lives what do I say? The Del Mar Shore? Is that where it is? And then Earth says, that's right, Nick. That Earth lives on the edge of the flat Earth, for fuck's sakes. Jesse says he can behave. Well, we'll see, Jesse. Yeah, I'll see how many people end up getting. Earth says that confirms that red smokes. Cat beard. Holy fuck. So yeah, we'll figure it out and we'll go from there. But Dogfish Head next week, American Beauty 2019, Sequench, and we'll figure it out. Anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you stopping by. Appreciate all the support. Thanks for checking out the 300th beer review, the 1-year anniversary, and me being hammered drinking a 5 out of 5 Firestone Walker 22nd anniversary. Until next week, I bid you all farewell. And if you want to come over to Red Beard's channel about 15, 20 minutes, apparently we're all going to be chatting. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Deuces.